this whole Diddy documentary dropped. 50 Cent put it out. Did you have a chance to see it?
All 4 episodes.
What was your reaction to it?
Shocked that 50 wasted his time. The anticipation, what I expected, was so much more. If you were a gangster in the feds, running the streets, running the industry for a while, I would look at that like, that's like good looking. Yeah, you cry, but yeah, I'm Diddy, nigga. I don't see the real, after everything we already heard of and aware of, I don't see how that knocks Diddy or hurts him at all. There was no new news, no nothing. He basically documented a little nerdy, Poindexter-looking black kid that rose to take over the game and got involved in a whole bunch of gangster shit along the way, broke some laws, did some things we may not agree with, but hey, we already knew that. I don't understand the point of the documentary. It really makes 50 look like a fan, somebody on Diddy dick. Man, I was around Misa, Diddy baby mama. So I know some of the back scene of what the motivation might be. Even if I wasn't aware, now I hear everybody talking about it. It's like, oh, I knew Misa, the wardrobe, her fine ass. Justin Mama's a sexy, fine motherfucker. I knew that was Diddy baby mama, but I didn't realize the I don't give a fuck who dick and pussy, not my issue. But when I look back, I remember when 50 had Diddy baby mama over there up under us, not really paying her no attention.
Damn.
Yeah, I remember all that.
Being around a lot, did you ever run into Diddy? I mean, not on no weirdo shit, but just on
the closest I've gotten to Diddy,
industry stuff?
The closest I can recall getting to Diddy was being a very familiar peer and comrade of Mace. And a few things Mace shared about Diddy. And there was also an individual, what's his name? From Bad Boy. You know his name. 50 always, he was one of Puffy's close. He worked with Puffy close. He was part of Interscope, Violator. James Cruz.
Okay.
Because James Cruz worked for Puffy and then worked for 50, I've overheard a lot of shit. And because Mace was on G Unit, part of the time I was there, and 50 was trying to get a deal worked out between Mace, Puffy, I know some things that people who know Diddy claim to know.
I mean, is there anything you could talk about?
Yeah, well, one thing I would love to say, shout out to Mace, it is what it is, Cam, y'all keep teasing Mace. Why you don't speak on this, bro? When you told us one day, Diddy told y'all, hey, you say, look, we're going to a party at such and such time, you can't wear no drawers. And I don't know why you don't speak on it, because you said you didn't go, man. So what's the big deal? You can't make this up. I can recall with all the shit you hear about Diddy, and I'm trying to think, do I know anything like this? I can remember Mace saying, you know this, Mace, Cam, put him on the spot, bro. I know you don't know me, but I know Mace enough to know this is one of them questions you could pull up. Yo, play this clip and ask me, who is son? Why is son saying this? Mace told us there was a time where Diddy came to the door and said, look, we're going to a party tonight, and such and such, can't wear no underwear. And Mace's story is he opted out on going. However, James Cruz used to be around, and it's been some time now, 20-some years, but a common energy, Buck could tell you, Banks could tell you, Yayo could tell you, Misa, anybody's around could tell you, 50 always was teasing James Cruz, threatening him about exposing what type of free shit you had going on with Diddy. That was just a theme of their relationship. Now, James Cruz is like Puerto Rican, skinny, non-black, non-gangster, has some type of influence in the industry, trying to be cool with 50 and his gangsterism. And imagine 50 just bullying him, talking shit to him, verbally kicking him in the ass whenever. And basically, he just marking him out. Every time I turn around, this is what I can recall. James Cruz basically doing 50 like this. Don't say nothing when 50 is teasing and talking about what you and Puffy used to be up to.
This was going on way back then?
Back then, I'm talking about being at Mr. Chow's. What's that, Chinese food? In Europe, nigga. 50 the type of nigga, you can be in Europe and go to Mr. Chow's. They got one, just like ours. Way over there, but you gotta be with certain to find it. And I remember being at the table and, 50 is a bully. You see him now. James Cruz was like, his employee kind of like. If you know the character James Cruz, there's no alpha in him. And then he had done a long stint with Puffy. 50 stayed on him about all this shit. Hearing about Puffy liking another man's semen on his nipples, as shocking as it is, based on the things that 50 used to try to tease James Cruz to speak on, I'm not that shocked.
Damn.
Plus, Exhibit said, what Superhead said, and then, like I told you, Mace said he invited him to a party and told him no underwear. And shout out to Mace, he said he didn't go, but that was the invite. Keep it a Google, Mace. I'll let your boy. Yo, M-Rat, tell Murder Mace tap in, bro, please. Shout out M-Rat.
When you were around 50, who was the guy that he hated the most?
Game, because Game had more effect on what he had going on. Game was getting the treatment from the higher ups at Interscope that was mimicking 50's treatment. He didn't like that. He felt like Game wasn't being treated as a subservient to him or artist under him. He was being treated like an equal, like he may have actually being the next Dre, 50, or Eminem. And 50 didn't like that because he actually saved Game's career in terms of the contract that he had with Dre being on the back burner. 50 came and gave that a new, but the label wasn't necessarily approaching Game's project like he was a subservient. I can recall, I won't say any numbers, but I remember 50 was quite offended because Game's rollout budget for his initial video was equal to what 50 had spent on his last video. He didn't like that.
Game was getting the same budget as 50 Cent.
At that time,
I mean, Game's first album did $5 million.
Game benefited from being part of the successful overflow structure of what Eminem, Dre, and 50 and Jimmy Iovine had did.
Absolutely.
And he was blessed to be the West Coast representative. And he did. It's not because his talent was over Kendrick's, over mine. He was blessed to be in the proper position because of D-Mac, Desperado Publishing from Mansfield. His business was in order to get the most shine and experience. However, if you listen to Suge, you understand the way deals are structured. Game had a 60-40 with Desperado Publishing that translated into a deal that went through Interscope, G-Unit, and a lot. So Game really did, even though he was extremely popular, he had a struggle financially from day one in being a boss. And with all the exposure that we see him have, we see him even feel, some people feel he's validated to feel like he was left out in the Super Bowl. Some people feel like he's crazy. But for the community that kind of feel where he's coming from, it's because we kind of see his career was almost there. But he was trying to dig himself out of such a financial hole from the beginning, being signed to D-Mac and the way that go. Bro, you know how many albums he would have to sell? You have to have at least one hit record without 50 on the hook in order to recoup. Imagine him actually getting an opportunity to be on the Super Bowl. Shout out to Gang, shout out to Magic. But imagine him getting an opportunity to be on that Super Bowl and trying to represent himself without 50. What record would he perform?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think 50 and Game can coexist.
No, answer this question.
On there.
Had he been a ride invited to participate and said, hey, we need you to do your biggest record without 50 on it, what record would it be?
So his biggest record, I believe, is Hate Her to Love It.
I said without 50 on it.
So what's his biggest record without 50?
We want you to take this stage. We want it to go dark for 5 seconds. When the lights come on, it's your time. What's your record without 50 on it? If it's not One Blood, don't rap.
I was going to say, is it One Blood?
Yeah, if it's not that, and that's only because you in LA. That won't even work if y'all was somewhere else. But because you was in LA, One Blood probably would have worked. But outside of that, they all performed smash hits. They brought Mary J. So you may be local like these guys, but what is your independent hit separate from them that caused you to qualify? This is no hate. This is just facts. And Game, if you would love to discuss it, debate it, disagree about it, the black box is open, bro. We can kick, cack, and be boo for episode. Holla at me. I seen you on Back on Fig, T-Rail, and Smack, and G Magic know how to get in touch with me. And Wacko No Honey. And Top Dog and J-Rock.
So you got Let's Ride, Dreams. Dreams was pretty big.
Oh, him?
That was
So
off
you
his
saying
first
what
album.
Mike would have went off for the Super Bowl? These
Yeah,
both of those
I don't
records.
think Dreams would have worked for the
Both of
Super
those
Bowl.
records are records I might like, but
He would have had to do like Let's Ride.
that's with Nipsey.
It's solo song.
You would have to let me hear at least a chord for me to even let me hear a first intro. Oh yeah, yeah. But me, I would have thought that was a 50 Cent song. He's not on that song?
No.
I guarantee you he got that from the 50 Cent beat pool. That don't sound like if I can't
That's the second
do it, I can't be done. I believe the same producer made that beat. Let's do it again. What's inspired?
yeah.
Play a couple chords again.
I believe they both are Scott Storch.
Thank you. Just play. No, let me hear it.
You want to hear it?
Just for 2 seconds.
What's up? This is Cam Capone. We got more content like this coming soon, so hit that like button, subscribe, and stay locked in to Cam Capone News.